So today's video is what I'm gonna call drawing a line. I feel like there's lots of new people here, or like just following me over this year, and I feel like you guys don't really know me. And if you've been following me since the very first YouTube channel, you will really know me and know that it's been a really weird few, is it 6 years I've been doing this? So I kind of wanted to draw a line. I'm going to talk about everything I've learned and done and what I've taken from the past few years and draw a line over it, and then we're going to push forwards with Laura 7.0. I don't know, the seventh year, the new me. You guys know this year has been such a great, like since maybe September last year, you guys can see that I have thrived, and I kind of talk about it a lot on my YouTube channel. You've been with me through a lot, and this video I wanted to do, I've done a Q&A over on Instagram. I'm going to answer some of your questions. I'm going to talk about it all, talk about what I've learned, what I've been through, and then we're going to draw a line and we're going to have the best life ever. That's the plan. So grab a cup of tea. This is going to be an insightful journey today. Because I know I have so many new people join me over on Instagram and TikTok, and I guess they don't know me at all. A lot of come over from those channels to watch these videos. So those of you that have been with me since the start, you probably have some insight into, like, sorry, my next door neighbour, the one that lives directly opposite this window, she's always bloody cleaning, like all the time. It's quite impressive. Quite impressive. She's always got a strap. Anyway, digressed. So yeah, I want to draw a line over everything. I want to talk about what I've learned, what I've been through, because I think the problem with social media is that everyone looks like they've got a squeaky clean life and everything's amazing. And I think lately I really love the fact that my videos, so many of you guys say that it empowers you. You feel your best self when watching these videos. You feel like you can go conquer the world, and I love that I pass that energy through these videos. It was really sweet. Whoever's boyfriend this is, you have got such an amazing, like, he's such an Alan. I was at the Royal Ascot and this boyfriend came over to me and he was like, I just want to say, you make my girlfriend feel so confident and I love to see it. And I was like, that's the cutest thing ever. And yeah, I just wanted to share with you where that confidence comes from, and like why, I don't know, just a bit of a backstory behind the walk and like how I've got to this point and what's happened over the years. So I'm gonna kind of rewind and then we'll go to the questions. But so I started this channel maybe 6 years ago. You guys probably know better than I do, because every time I say it, someone corrects me. But you can go back to the start. I've not hid any videos. They're all there, as tragic and as so embarrassing as they are. I just want to leave everything online. Like, I never take videos down. So my very first video is there, and actually no, I have hidden my very first videos, because I started this channel before I started this channel. So I started YouTube and then it just didn't work at all. It was, and when I look back, it was so bad, so bad. This is why I always say to people, like, if you want to do this job, don't tell anyone you're doing it. Like, don't make it public, just create a different account. Nobody needs to know about it. Because honestly, if I still have, it's still on my channel, it's just private. But so I tried YouTube, it just didn't work. I had a break and then it came back and it worked, which has been my philosophy throughout this journey. Like, whenever it gets stagnant, I like take a little break and then I'll come back with something different. You will have known there's been definitely a lot of different versions of Laura over the years. Oh my god, I so hope I have that first YouTube video. But the second time I tried YouTube, that video is still up. But so yeah, it's been a real struggle since I started this whole Instagram social media thing. I haven't had plain sailing at all. It's actually been pretty hellish behind the scenes, and as I talk through all of this, it's probably nowhere near as bad as what some people go through. I understand that, but for me, it's been a lot. Like, when I went full-time blogger, the day I went full-time, I was in a relationship at the time. It was nearly coming up 3 years, and the guy just ghosted me one day, and I never saw him again. Like, there was no goodbye after 3 years, there was no nothing after 3 years. And this moment that I'd worked so hard towards, like, I wanted to be a full-time blogger, back then we used to call it, for so long. And then the day I was like, quit my job full-time, and I was meant to be filled with so much joy and enthusiasm, I was just like going through like something that I couldn't explain. I almost had to grieve a death. Like, I still to this day have not seen that dude since, and it's only looking backwards I can understand and pinpoint what was the issues and why that happened. But he disappeared, he got himself a new girlfriend without even dumping me first. I had to find out over social media, and then when I started to get happy again and get myself into a really good place, maybe like a year later, he started trying to kill himself and threatening to kill himself unless I spoke to him. So that whole first year of blogging was like me. I went so thin. I had such bad skin, and like, I don't know, just that whole first year was a real struggle because of the thing that was going on behind the scenes. Anyway, got myself back, and then COVID hit. And then I got hit really hard by COVID. It almost killed me. And when I talk about it, like, I find it really hard because I know so many people have gone through COVID in so many different ways. But my God, that first March 2020, you can go watch the video. I was not very well. I filmed it, it's on this channel. If you go back to March 2020, I was one of the first people to ever get COVID, and I was like, Jesus Christ, people need to know how bad this is, because it honestly nearly killed me. And that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was what came afterwards. I struggled with long COVID before long COVID was even a thing, and I thought it was going crazy. I thought it was going mad, and it was only when so I struggled with long COVID for 6 months before it came out to the public about long COVID. But I was going to the doctors, like, saying something's wrong with me. It was like I was fighting COVID over and over and over again. It was 15 months of this. Were 15 months after catching COVID, I was begging the specialist doctor that I was seeing about my lungs. I was like, please help me. I feel like half a human. And whilst doing this, I was still trying to do this whole YouTube situation. And I feel like I wasn't putting out the work that I wanted to work. I was literally just scraping by. And honestly, during that time, it was, the thing that got me the most was, it was like a tank. If I did something, I paid for it. So like, I did something like film a video, and then I'd be in bed for 3 days. And if I exerted myself, I would be like gasping. And I was all by myself during this time. I lived by myself. It was the pandemic, it was lockdowns, no one saw me. And I remember when I went home with this gasping, which I'd had for 15 months. Like, it wasn't new to me, I'd got used to it. And I was like, I'd just sit there and I'd be gasping, and my mum was like, you're making me not, she was like, you're making me out of breath. And it was like just a constant battle of feeling not very well for a whole year. There was so many other different cognitive things that was wrong. I just felt like I was losing the plot, and I can really understand how like mental health during that time with people with long COVID was a thing. I just didn't feel like me at all. And it was only when I had the vaccine that I got better. And I had a couple of months there when I went traveling. You guys saw it, went to Rome, went to Paris, and I was like, I feel good. And then my flat that I'd furnished it all, I'd finally got a beautiful place, refurbished it all, it started being bulldozed from the ground up. And I definitely have put these videos on the channel, like the whole building was like all day long, from 7 till 7 every single day. I couldn't film, like, it was making my life hell. My landlord started to charge me for stuff that was breaking because of the building was shaking. She was I'm just gonna say that. So I was like, everything knows. And during this time, which is the next thing, I got scammed out of £50,000, which I've been in a court case with for the past year now. So I put everything into storage, my whole life into storage, and I went home to mum and dad at 34, was I then? I'm 35 now, so at 34 years old, I went home to mum and dad because I was just at like a breaking point where the past few years had just been like a living hell for me. And during this time, I'm still trying to keep this YouTube, Instagram, and like smile and be happy, and I went home to mum and dad, and my little nephew became my best friend during this time, and it was the most wholesome, amazing few months. And then I went to Paris, and I cried in Paris whilst, in fact, this was when I was like clocking on to how much I'd been scammed and the whole story that went behind it. And then I went to Monaco, and I started to make some really big decisions when I was in Cannes and Monaco, and I decluttered my life. I was like, I'm gonna start from scratch. I'm gonna get rid of these, during this time, the relationships that I was having with people and boys just were the wrong ones. And I'll get more into relationships in the Q&A, but I just got rid of everything. I got rid of the life that I had, my furniture's in storage, got rid of the flat that I was living in, I moved out of London, I got like swiped my friendship group clean. I kept Abby. Abby's, you've known her, she's been on my channel a lot. She's my best friend for 20 years. We went to college together, we lived together for a long time, we've been through thick and thin, and we're still here. I talk to her all day, every day, and I feel like she's not a friend anymore. She's more like family to me. So like, yeah, I feel like everyone needs an Abby. But I went to Monaco last year, and I think I always recommend this loads. Whenever you're in a situation where you hit rock bottom, or you're just struggling in life or something, I always think escaping the bubble that you're in is key. Like, I knew there was a part of me, like I was really down, like, sorry, battery dead. The last thing I wanted to do was go to Paris and have a great time, but I just needed to like escape the bubble to gain perspective. Now, I did this when I was 22. I was having a quarter life crisis because I was young back then. And I didn't know what I wanted to do as a career, and I felt really lost. And I was in a hole, I was in the Mayfair scene in London, which is not healthy for anyone that's in that. And I was going down a route that I didn't want to go down. Like, I'm a very intelligent person, I have always been at school, and I was just in a career that like wasn't fulfilling my brain. I was a dancer, like there needs to be a part of my brain that needs to work. So I went to Beirut, and everyone was like, what the hell? But for me, I gain such perspective when I leave the pressures of like society and the bubble that you're living in. So that's why I went to Paris, and I did cry in front of the Eiffel Tower a lot. And I guess if you're gonna cry in front of the Eiffel Tower, is a great place to cry, really. But during this time, interestingly, I lost a lot of my hair, which I've grown back now, but I had eczema all over my face. My stomach was so swollen. I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like when you're stressed, does your stomach swell? I was like constantly like had a real painful stomach. And I just realized how much how much stress puts on your body. Again, Q&A, I'll do this later. But yeah, I cleared everything out in Cannes and Monaco in the summer. I like just gained such perspective. I was like, I just want to just do me for a while. And I came back to London in September. I moved into this flat in end of October, but in September I hired Yasmin, my assistant, who's been a dream to work with. And honestly, you guys have seen the change from then to now. Like, it's almost as if you can see like me just get rid of all the bullshit that I was like attracting. And I don't know what it is. I feel like the manifest the universe thing is a real thing, because like once you start on a downward spiral, like you keep getting negative things. And I feel like it's switched this year. I'm on an upward trajectory, and I keep getting the positive things. But I just wanted to say that, like, I hope that what you can get, because I feel it myself. I'm 35, I've not got a relationship, I've not got any kids, I've not even got a bloody dog, which I really want. Like, I have got none of the things that society tells you that you should have by this age. And I feel like, yes, it's really lovely to watch people in their nice homes with their nice cars and all this. I'm getting teary-eyed, tell you this, don't know why. But I just wanted to be an example more of, like, the comeback. Like, if shit happens to you, like, I feel like I want to represent the comeback. And I know it sounds stupid, but I've not let any of it take me down. Like, I have mastered the art of picking myself back up when shit hits the fan. So if you're wanting something from a YouTube channel, it's the comeback, and I thrive off it. And you know what I absolutely love? This is all getting to the confidence in the videos and stuff, but I absolutely love watching a girl go through a breakup or being screwed over or cheated on. I love watching it because I love the version of herself she creates from that. You can tell, like, how she thrives, like the energy that she has is, like, fierce. It's like the comeback is so good. So this year has been the comeback of all the things that was thrown at me for the past 6 years since the start of my YouTube channel. And one of the proudest things through the health situation with long COVID was that I kept this going. And ironically, like, is the word ironically? Ironically, maybe. It was the most money I'd ever earned in my whole entire life in that year that I had long COVID. And it was something that I was so proud of. I was like, I lost my health, I lost, like, a social life because I couldn't have the energy to do it. I felt like I even lost my flat, and I was like, it's been the best financial year, business year of my life. And then that was taken away when someone scammed me out of £50,000, which, if I was watching this, like, I was watching Tinder Swindler and Inventing Anna whilst this was happening to me, and I was thinking, this would never happen. Oh, like, you'd have to be so silly to believe me when I say I don't trust anybody now. Like, it was so cleverly done. Or, like, so, I've never met someone before that has the gift of the gab so much as this person that scammed me. It was like Wolf of Wall Street, like I'm actually going to go public with this eventually, so hopefully you will get all the information, and I'm going to tell you who it is and stuff eventually when the law case is over. So that's going to be fun. Because I feel like it should literally be a Netflix show. Like, I was actually, like, I had an interview with Forbes the other week who was covering the story, but I didn't want to be named in it, so it's just been really wild. But yeah, so this year was where I started walking on Instagram, and when I started walking back in September, like, that confidence came from me, like, no one is gonna fuck with me this year. Like, I had such a blink-eyed vision of, like, this is me, this is my turn, I'm not gonna look after anyone, because during all this time I was still looking after people, I was still making sure people were okay. And I feel like I'm one of those, if you're my friend, I will look after you. And I was just so done with people taking advantage of me that I was like, I'm just gonna do me. Like, when I came back in September, I was like, no one is getting nothing from me. No, like, I just, like, kept it so close with who I let into my life, who I saw, who I worked with, even brands. I was like taking it down so narrowly that I was like, it's just small. And it was such a big learning curve because you guys have seen I've flown from it. Like I came back to London in September on 350,000 on Instagram, and I'm nearly at 650,000 on Instagram now. I've grown TikTok to 500,000 in that time as well. And sadly I let my YouTube channel slack because Instagram has taken over, which I'm very sorry about, but we're coming back. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for sticking with me through this really weird roller coaster of the past few years. And I hope you can see now that I am all in it, creating the content that I want to create for you guys. I'm like ready to inspire you again. Because I haven't for a long time. I feel like I've been having a small violin played in all my videos for the past year. And I'm so over it, so we're drawing a line. So yeah, I'm gonna answer this Q&A. This is gonna be a really long video, but I'm sorry. I just had to like do this video, draw a line, and then we can move on with life. But yeah, that confidence comes from being screwed over and getting myself back up again in relationships, in friendships, in business, just in every aspect. It's like, even in health, it's like learning to thrive on a comeback is one of the biggest tips, because everyone gets knockbacks, everyone, don't they? But it's like, there's a saying, it's like not how many times you get knocked down, it's successful people are those that pick themselves up when they get knocked down. So bring it on, I'm ready for it. no more is happening. I'm gonna start off with the facts because I actually find this one very interesting. I'm 35, as I've just said previously, but I think on Instagram particularly, or just in general, it's a touchy subject, age, and women particularly, and I just think the stereotype, is that the word? I really need to read more, get my vocabulary up. I really think that needs to be broken. Women are looking fantastic these days. Did you see Kate Beckinsale turning 50? There's such a thing that when women get past the age of 35, like, they're going downhill from there. I don't intend for that to be the case for me. I'm gonna work on myself till the day I die. And I think that was such an old school narrative from, like, I saw on TikTok that even like the myth that women lose their eggs past the age of 35 was a study taken from the 17th century. And I know, for instance, Chelsea Hospital down the road from me, the average age of people having a baby is 37 or 38. And if that's the average, that means there's a lot of older women having babies still. So I think this whole 35 and over is like your downward spiral needs to like go. I think it's particularly media, because media used to push like 20-year-olds, 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 like the Britneys, the Christina Aguileras, like everyone was young. And I think the great thing about social media is that women of all ages are like, really, you can see them thriving. It's not a story that the media are like telling you. It's like, this is why I hate society and I hate whoever was controlling media and stuff, because like you can see the most amazing women in this industry are all in their 30s or above. Like the biggest influencers in the world are all, I think, the same age as me, and they all look absolutely incredible. Whereas 20 years ago, let's say, women in their 35s were like past it. And yeah, I think age is just a number, and you can look good till it is harder as you get older to stay in shape, to have good skin, but I feel better now than I ever have done at the age of 35. So this is bullshit. Like, you can look however good you want. And I think as well, getting mature skin shouldn't be like, you shouldn't get upset about it. Like, I think if you've got laughter lines, you're so lucky, because so many people don't get to that point. I've lost a hell of a lot of friends over the years that I've just, like, I lost a friend last year, like, who just died suddenly, and it was just like, oh my god, like, I am so lucky every birthday that I have that you can't get upset. And if you are upset about aging, you're in such a lucky position. Like, if that's what you're worried about. But yeah, every time I say my age, I get such a backlash of like people going, oh my god, I thought you were 40, or oh my god, I thought you were 50. And it's like, I don't know what it is. Women like to put other women down. I don't know. If it sparks an insecurity in themselves, when I say I'm 35, they like to drag it down. The same way it's like, people like to think I've got a lot of plastic surgery and I've had none. And it's just like, I've learned trolling on the internet all stems from someone else's insecurity. So I'm 35, I'm fucking fabulous. I'm single as hell. I'm really doing life backwards, aren't I? Where did you work before? A lot of these questions are the same, so I'm going to pick the ones that are the most. Where did you work before becoming a full-time influencer? So, to cut a very long story short, I trained as ballerina for 21 years. I went to stage school for 3 years. I did acting, singing, dancing. Cannot sing to save my life. I'm very tone deaf, but I did it anyway. Came to London after stage school. I tried it as a dancer, did some backing dancing, and I don't know, the whole dancer industry just wasn't my thing. I hated it, in fact. It was just too pretentious for me. I am very against pretentious things. I'm a northerner from a countryside town, and the big city and the showbiz life were just blah. Ended up in Mayfair whilst I figured out what I wanted to do, because I'd not thought about anything else before, and I had a quarter-life crisis working in the industry. I was working in Whiskey Mist. If you're old as me, you'll know these things. Rose Club, Movida, Bougie. I was one of the podium girls with the sparklers, and I saw so many things that I wish I could erase from my brain. I feel like I've lived 100 lives, and I've seen it all. I could tell so many stories from that life. I like met every celebrity under the sun. I remember my first day at work, Madonna licked my leg. I was like, this is new. Yeah, I learned a lot of that, and I learned I didn't want anything to do with that industry or the showbiz world or the celebrity culture. Hated every minute of it. Went to live in Beirut. I worked in Whiskey Mist Beirut whilst I had my quarter-life crisis, and I came back and went back to uni. I did fashion management marketing at UCA Epsom, and I really wish I never went because I've never used the degree. However, it did filter my brain and what I wanted to do. So I always think, if you don't know what you want to do, take one step in a direction that you want to maybe go in. Like, I finished uni and I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I got a first class honours, not that that means anything. I think the whole uni system is bullshit unless you need it for like a doctor or a lawyer. I just wouldn't bother, that's my own opinion. I got first class honours. I got nearly full marks and the highest ever grade in the history of the course by a long way, which I'm super proud of for some unknown reason, because I think it's absolutely ridiculous, the whole course. I got nominated for 2 awards for it as well, and it's like I've never used it. My brain just needed to, I feel like uni was good for me because my brain needed to be like sparked back into like working. Finished uni and I worked in PR. I was one of the first people that connected brands to bloggers. I worked with Superdry, and I worked with a number of different ones. Superdry sticks out because I still know the woman that did the marketing there. Now she works for Holland Cooper, and it's funny because we've seen the whole journey. Like, she'd gone from Superdry to Holland Cooper, and yeah, anyway. And during that time, I started to clock on to influencers and what influencers were doing, and I wanted in. I saw how much they were earning, I saw how amazing their lives were, and I was like, this is it. This is a great job. This is what I want to do. And yeah, I went home in that job and started making videos and never looked back. I would say it took from me making my first video to going full-time as a blogger, took me maybe 6 months to a year. I started earning money off it very, very quickly because I knew the background of it. Like I was on the inside, so I knew how like brands were working, how much people were charging. I really recommend that if you ever want to do something, like if you want to go work in a restaurant, if you want to open a restaurant, work as a waiter, like learn from the bottom. It will project you forward. And then I've done this ever since. And I started it with no money. I had 2 pairs of shoes. One had a hole in. I was shopping in Primark and charity shops, and I borrowed people's clothes, I borrowed people's handbags. And I think there's a huge thing that influencers have to come from money, or like have money to buy designer, but actually I think you just have to have style. Like you can have a lot of money and don't know how to dress, but if you've got natural style, or a natural sense of style, or unique style, or creative, if you've got something like that in your bag, it doesn't matter your background at all. And obviously the more I've made in this industry, the more I've changed over and been able to shop in the places that I've always dreamed to shop, and you guys have seen that and grown with that, and the things that I've learned about shopping and clothes lasting and stuff. We've kind of come on a big huge journey. So the most asked question is my fitness journey, my healthy eating, what do I eat, my diet tips, what do I do in gym, leg workouts. And this is going to be a whole video in itself, which I hopefully will film this week. It's been a journey, believe me. But when my health was so bad in 2020, 2021, I made a promise to myself that this would never happen again. Like I wanted to be in the best condition. If I got an illness like COVID thrown at me again, I wanted to give my body it be in the best place it could to fight that. So I wanted to get stronger, I wanted to get healthier, I wanted to be in the best place, shape of my life. And that is a hard process. So I started the process of like working out again after I couldn't work out at all during long COVID. Even afterwards, it maybe took 2 years after I first initially caught COVID to even step foot in a gym again, because that's how badly my body was fucked. I could not like do anything. I could just about do normal life without any exertion. So when I was in Paris last year, I started introducing the gym again, bit by bit, slow by slow, doing very minimal exercise. And I got to a place where I got in a very normal place again, thank God. January this year, I changed it around. I don't know if you can tell. I changed my diet, I changed my gym, I changed what I was doing in the gym. I really took it seriously. There was no more excuses that I was having in my head, like I'm skinny girl, I can't get strong, I don't like food, I just don't put on weight. I cut out all the stuff that I thought made me not able to do it, and I started to eat the right things, I started to do the right things in the gym, and I feel like I look healthy. I've not been ill for a good few months now, so I feel like it's going well. I don't know, I feel like my face looks healthier. I don't know, I just feel healthy. I can't explain it. I feel good. I feel so good that I cannot go back to whatever I was doing before. So I'm going to share all this in my next vlog coming up this week. But basically, eat food, eat healthy food, lots of vegetables, lots of different colors. And in the gym, I just do weight training. I don't do any cardio. That's a little insight, but we'll go into more depth of that. Are you going back up north? So at the beginning of the year, I was having a crisis, just a mini one, because I had COVID for the 5th time. If you're new here, I am a COVID ambassador. I like to get COVID once or twice a year. I've had every strain. I don't know whether I'm just hereditary prone to it or because I got it so bad the first time, it just loves me. Every time I'm ill, I want to go back to my mum and dad. As childish as that sounds, I just want my mum. And at the start of this year, I was like, I'm going home, I'm buying up north, which still is what I truly want to do. But I think I wanted to, like, the living situation here. I feel like this video is going to be like an hour, but I might just let it run for an hour. So I think what I want to do is I want a place in London or on the outskirts of London, but I want to buy a property in my hometown as like a holiday home, but Airbnb it. And I also want a holiday home abroad somewhere. So we're really gonna have to work hard, but I feel like it's achievable. It's a good goal. So I do want it, and I don't know what order we're gonna do this in, whatever comes up first. So whether I continue renting and buy up north, or buy down here and then buy up north eventually, it's gonna happen. I want both. And the great thing, if I Airbnb in my hometown, which is the most beautiful place in England, I'm just gonna put it out there, I'm gonna say it, the Wirral Peninsula is like holiday heaven for UK. It's got the seaside, it's got the views. I'm not gonna lie, it's good. I'm actually going this week, so I might take you along and you can see home. I do say that a lot and then I get sidetracked with family stuff, but I might do it. Yeah, but for the time being, I was saying this to my parents, like, I feel at peace right now. You guys know I've been here, there, everywhere, up, down, out of the country. And then I moved into this flat, and it was a short-term let. This is why I so believe in like auras and the universe. And that last flat, point there, because weirdly I have lived within proximity, like a 5-minute radius of all my flats in London. Like, I do not move out the area. I try every time I move back to London, I'm like, let's try a new place, and I always end up in exactly the same place. And weirdly, my dad researched our family history, like the family tree, and my ancestors are all from this very place. They worked in the pub down the road, they lived across in Putney Way. Like, it's just really weird that I am exactly, and I keep coming back to exactly where my ancestors were. I find that so weird. I didn't even know that until recently. So weird. So I feel like some of your instincts are like in your blood. Anyway, I came back here on a rental, short-term rental, because I couldn't find a flat in time. Like, they were going before I could even get down to London. If you're from a different part of the world, London rental crisis is like extreme right now. Like, there's so many people going for individual flats. All the flats have gone up so much money. I'm paying about £1,000 more than my last flat to be here. And it was a short-term rental because all the flats were going before I even got down to London from Liverpool. So I was like, I'll get this, stay here for 3 months, and in those 3 months I will look at other properties. So I needed to be in London to go view, but I don't know why, I just ended up staying. The guy hasn't tricked me out, and I'm like, I've got a feeling that, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know, I'm just riding it out. I feel very at peace, like I feel calm. I've not had calmness for a very long time. I feel like this flat, I don't know if you can feel it through the camera, it has such a nice feeling to it. It's like, I can't explain it. In that last flat, it had such a horrible aura. I cannot explain it. I did not want to be in that flat. This flat has a lovely aura. Don't know, please, if someone knows something about this, is this, I don't know anything about this kind of thing, but something about this is so like, I don't know, I just feel so calm and at peace here, and I feel like it feels more of a home than that last flat was, even though I was there for like a year or 2 years or something. And yeah, don't know what it is. So I'm just riding this out until I get kicked out, because CBA, all my stuff's in storage still. I do miss that. The furniture is not mine, hence why I've slowly put all the weird Aztec stuff in that cupboard. I hope the guy doesn't watch this. You have lovely taste. I feel like it's just not on brand to have an Aztec skull in the back of my videos. So yeah, I'm staying here, and whatever, I don't know, I want both. I want to be close to my family sometimes. Like, if I have kids, I want to be able to take them home up north to spend time with my family and have a place there. I feel like this is very achievable. Watch this space. Are you single? Kids, husband, the shit, so let's talk about it. I am single. Guys, it's a long story. It's a really long story. I am single. I have been single since the start of this YouTube channel, really. There's been a lot of men. That last 5 minutes, I became really cutthroat. I mean, I feel like I shouldn't be as cutthroat, but sometimes I really think I should. Yeah. I don't really know where to start. I don't think I have wanted a relationship until this year. I feel like I just was really happy by myself, and I know that's crazy because a lot of women turn 30 and go into like a crisis of like, must find the one, must settle down, must have kids. I actually did the opposite. I turned 30 and thought, my god, my life is fantastic single. I don't want a man to ruin this. So it's been really hard to get myself out that mindset and realize that all men wouldn't ruin my life. I was a very serious, god, this video is really gonna be long, I'm so sorry guys, but I really was a serial boyfriender. Like, I always had a long-term relationship. I had some amazing boyfriends back in the day when I was at school. My childhood boyfriend, my high school boyfriend was great. When I first came to London, I had a boyfriend that was great. There's been a few that have been, my boyfriend in Beirut was great. Like, I'm still friends with most of them now, or like loose friends. Like, I wish them the best. I've been invited to some of their weddings, like, it's cool. But then something switched. Something switched and I started attracting the wrong kind of men. I don't know whether it was like, the type of person I became that was attracting the wrong sort of people, or I was just like open to a lot of pool of the same kind of breed of people. Like, the Mayfair world was very bad, and like a lot of the people were like club promoters, models, actors, singers, celebrities, and it was just like probably the worst toxic environment for finding someone. So I think that largely has it, like the pool that I was in was not good. And yeah, I think a lot of people have bad relationships, and like some people go through bad breakups and some people get cheated on, but I think I have had experiences with relationships where there's two in particular that their mental health has been terrible, and yeah. I think I learned in my 20s, particularly my mid-20s, how bad a bad relationship can be. And it makes me feel really weird when I think about women who haven't got the freedom to leave a relationship financially, that are trapped in a place where I was, because it is hell on earth. Like, and I fear that place. So part of the reason why I have pushed so hard to like my career and I've found such happiness in my career, because it gives me the freedom to never be in a position where I can't leave. And that has been my like drive, I think. And I just had a really bad run. Like, I had a bad relationship, the one that I told you about, where they just disappeared, along with many other issues. I've gone through it in depth probably in this channel sometimes, but I really can't be talking about a relationship that happened a decade ago. I then had another relationship which was one of those guys that like picks you up and drops you, picks you up and drops you, tells you they're in love with you, and then they disappear. And like, at the time, like, I understand it all now. Like, I feel like it's so clear. I did so much research on psychology. I've read book after book on like personal behaviors, and like I know everything now, so it's very easy for me to like see it from looking back now. And then I went in from that relationship to a guy that like love bombed me, did all the stuff that you're meant to do, and then he literally, as soon as like we were together, he cheated on me. So I've been really treated badly, maybe from mid-20s to early 30s, and then since the early 30s and like the pandemic happened and stuff like that, I honestly just gave up men. They were really bad for my health, particularly in long COVID. One of the things of long COVID, your cortisol levels are really uncontrollable. So anything that triggers your cortisol levels, like say during the pandemic, I found out something about a guy that I was seeing, and it like triggered my cortisol levels. Like I had hives all over my body, and I was like, that state of adrenaline just didn't go down. So I had to like just cut everyone out, be calm. And I was really happy with it. Like I don't crave men, I don't crave them, I don't need them, they don't make me happy. And it was like only until this year when I think, Jesus, if I want a family, I need to get out of this mindset, that I was like, okay, maybe I need to give men a chance. And this year I've been on a hell of a lot of dates, and I'm tired. I'm doing well. I've dated more guys this year than I have in the past 5 years alone. I'm tired, guys. I'm so tired. It's just draining. It really is. And one of the questions was, do I go on dating apps? And I've deleted all dating apps because I went on a few, particularly at the start of this year, that they just started to not look like their pictures at all. And I feel like we can't be doing that. I can't be wasting a night. That doesn't look like his picture. I'm laughing because honestly, this guy was like 6'2" or whatever, and he turned out to be like my height. I'm 5'4", and we love a short king, but when your expectations is like, it's like I ordered a man off Wish, it turned out really small. I was like, I can't be doing this. I'm so tired of it, guys. I honestly just want someone that comes along and it's just easy. Yeah. So love life is bad, but we're trying. And I think my taste in men is actually quite hard to find in this day and age. I like a man that looks like a Viking. I'm really into like Netflix series of like Vikings, Last Kingdom. I like a man that looks like he can chop a tree down with an axe. Like none of the shaved leg situation, none of like the 10-step beauty regime. I like a man that is like, like no one's questioning his sexuality, he's straight, like that kind of vibe. Yeah, it's quite hard to find. I feel like it's a whole different topic, isn't it? Like I love tattoos and like stubble, and like I even love grey hair. Like I love an older man. I think part of my issues like years ago was that I was dating men that are younger than me, and now I date men that are much older, which is the way forward, I find. Do you have children? Do you want them? I find this is such a difficult conversation for a 35-year-old woman. And when I watch videos of other people talking about it, I kind of just tune out or turn it off. It's such a weird feeling, isn't it? I've never, like I wasn't one of those women that turned 30 and wanted kids and stuff. However, I do. I feel like it's only now I feel ready for it though. I feel like I needed to get to this point in my life where I've seen it all, I've done it all, I've survived. I feel like I'm ready, and I think now that I have that mindset, I will probably start dating more and looking for what I want more. But I feel like I needed to have that switch of mindset, and I know I'm probably, I don't know, I probably should have done it a few years ago, but I had a whole health disaster and all I could think about was getting healthy. I do want kids, and I feel like I'll have them. Like I've got this really weird good instinct about things, to the point where I kind of like, this is gonna sound really weird, I feel like people think I'm nuts anyway, but I have this like feeling, like I remember my sister, she was really worried about having kids. I was like, you'll be fine, like I see you with kids. And my friend now, I see her, a friend recently, I was asking him mortgage advice, and I was like, when's the baby due? And I didn't know anything, and like the baby's coming and I didn't know. Like he'd only just found out himself. I had this really weird like sixth sense about stuff. And I remember I had this friend, my boyfriend's friend, a couple of years ago. I like, this sounds really weird. I don't know if anyone else can, I'm probably sounding right kooky, but when I see someone, I like feel their life. I don't know if that makes sense. And like when people talk about stuff, I can like feel a projection of like, I can't, it's a feeling. And I just remember this guy, I felt nothing. It was so blank. And I just remember instinctively thinking that is so different to what I'm used to. Like every time he spoke about something in the future or just in general, it was blankness. I felt such a cold blankness that it was really weird. And then he died. So when I have this feeling now, I really trust that feeling that I can feel stuff. So I feel like, I always say to a friend, like, she's gonna be fine, she's trying for a baby, but I was like, you're gonna be fine, like I feel it, you're gonna have a boy and a girl. She even just wants one. I'm like, no, you'll have two. I feel like I'm gonna be a boy mom. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm just gonna pop them out in the next few years. I'm at that stage now where like if I met someone that I loved and it was right, and like I would just keep popping them out until I could. And if that doesn't happen to me, if I don't meet the right guy, if I don't find love, if X, Y, and Z doesn't happen, and I really wanted a child, I think there's so many ways that women can do it these days. I'm gonna probably freeze my eggs in the next few years, if not this year, at the end of this year, just for like, even if I'm in a relationship anyway, just for like safety of like, you don't know what's gonna happen or be around the corner. Or adopt, gives a child that is like from a really awful background a beautiful home. Like I think there are ways that it's not the be all and end all if you cannot have kids biologically by a certain age. I think happiness can be found in such different ways, and like, yeah, I'm not worrying about it. I never have worried about it, and I feel like whatever happens happens. I'm a great believer in the universe, and like there's been too many things this year I'm like, wow, that's so weird, like that has happened, that I just have learned to trust the process. And I feel like things are thrown at you at different times, and like, I don't know, YOLO. We'll see what happens. But I do want kids. I feel like I'd be the best mum. Like how much my nephew loves me, I feel like I'd just be good. And you know what I think as well, like if you're in a position like me where you're thinking, God, I don't have this, I don't have a family, I don't have a house, I don't have a boyfriend, I'm not married, I don't have kids. There's a long list of things that I don't have that a lot of people my age do. You have still got that all to look forward to. Imagine if I sit here now and I think I've got married, I've got engaged, I've got my kids, I've got my house, like what's next? I have got that all to come. Like all of it to look forward to. All those moments I have not experienced yet. And that's exciting. Like it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be in any order. Like I might not find love until I'm 50, but there's one thing that I've learned. I'm not a settler. Like I do not want to settle unless it's like what I want. So like my career, it happened later, didn't settle. So maybe love won't happen until like, you know what I mean? I think worry less. That's what I believe. There's a lot of like fashiony questions and like not deep questions, more about like the fashion and I don't know what they're called, which I'll answer in the vlog, next vlog, because I'm just gonna start weekly vlogging. But yeah, I just wanted to get everything off my chest and say like it's been a ride and I've filmed it all. And I've managed to have a smile on my face through most of these videos, even through some of the worst times when I was really struggling. And I've taken you all round, and I'm really unsure when people come to my channel what they feel. They must think I'm so chaotic. I think that's one word that describes me very well. Like the past 6 years has been chaotic, but I feel like I love that I can pass this like confidence and strength and power to you through these walking videos and through my videos. And like if I can help someone in their lowest times who's going through shit, then this is why I'm here. This is why I do this. And yeah, I just wanted to share it because I think being perfect and like looking a certain way and like projecting this online, there's so much underneath. Every single person has their own story and it's so different, and I really am not very stereotypical, am I? I just end up doing life in a whole different way, and I just feel okay with that. And yeah, if you're new here, please press subscribe. During the ride. I hope you've had fun today. I just wanted to tell you that I'm a hot mess, really. I just wanted to get everything off my chest, draw a line, and from this point forward, you're gonna get the best version of myself, because nothing's wrong. Like, right now, guys, nothing is wrong. There's nothing wrong. Like, this is the first time in so long I'm not sad. I'm healthy, like financially, no one's scamming me, like all my friends are great, like life is good. Like, for the first time since I've started this YouTube channel, life is very, very good. I just wanted to share that and say thank you for staying with me through it all. Anyway, I feel like I've got a bit delirious telling you all this, but I just, yeah, I thought, like, so many knew, and like the story doesn't make sense unless I shared it. And yeah, if you want to go back and watch all the shit show of my life, feel free. It's all there, blood, sweat, tears. Yeah, I wish I could go so deep into it and tell you more, but obviously I have to respect people's privacy and be PG. If you meet me in person, I'll tell you it all. Oh, I need to write a book. Also, you can tell I've got my life together because for the first time ever I've got nice nails. That's a sign of a woman who's got her shit together.